I'm Logan. If you haven't seen me or met me before, that's who I am. So, secrets out. Yeah, what we're going to do here in this one is largely go through the customizable templates that we do have available. There are a couple for you to choose from, depending on whether you want to use the Facebook lead forms or if you'd rather go with the conversion objective ads. So, for anybody who's on this one, if you guys are going to be using the conversion style ads, if you haven't already seen, be sure that you've set up your domain and you guys get that done ASAP. We're still being told by Facebook we've got a little bit of time before they flip that switch, but with them, you never know. It could happen any day. So if you're unsure what I mean, just make sure that you look in your dashboard and you should get a notification that's prompting you to look into the domains stuff. And we have classes on that and help to get you guys all connected and rolling smoothly. But like I said, for the purpose of this call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go through the 2 custom ad templates that I would recommend you guys use, and I'll also field your questions along the way. So if you have any questions really on the algorithm itself, on custom ads, or if you'd like a little bit of help shaping your own custom angle, let me know, and I'll do my best to offer some guidance on that. Okay? Now, before I get started and I show you guys the different templates and everything, did anybody have anything specifically that they were looking for or anything that want to have addressed before we get into kind of the basics? If so, go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know.
Hi, Logan.
Hey, Grace, how
Grace
are you?
here. Yeah, I would love to set up an ad capturing people that are looking to for a cash buyer.
Okay,
I know Z Buyers does that, and I get leads from them. I'm going to cancel them. I'm going to do my own StreetText.
perfect. Yeah, I mean, and there's all sorts of different angles, for a lot of that. Now, are you looking to pick up cash buyers? Or are you looking for
Seller, tear down.
You're looking for sellers essentially, so you're going to be the cash buyer in a sense, or you have an investment group that's willing to purchase their homes upfront cash.
Builders and investor they're looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, there's lots. I mean, the traditional way of advertising that, as I'm sure you know, is typically bandit signs. They seem to be everywhere. That seems to be the most common way of getting that out there. But and bandit signs work. They work for a lot of different reasons, but they're not as effective, I think, as digital marketing can be, obviously. So to take that same kind of bandit sign approach, start putting that out there online, certainly something that I can see working. So I don't have any verbiage off the top of my head or on hand that I could provide you on that. I can certainly start looking into some stuff and see what we can come up with. But again, definitely a solid angle. And what I can do is show you the template that I would use to build it from and move from there. On that one item, I would say there is an opportunity to get away with lead ads. And the biggest downfall of the custom lead ad for everybody here is that it doesn't acquire addresses. Now, for an address, especially when for a home valuation, you're saying, let me give you a home valuation. That address is pretty darned important. And, for a distressed property or something like that, those addresses are still going to be very important, of course, but getting them to a conversation will be more important than it would be with a valuation. Because with a valuation, you can just send them a valuation. You can work towards getting that conversation started. Whereas it really for your offer will need to start with, we need to have a conversation. So even if you don't get that address, you can still run an ad offering that service. All you then need to do is text me your email, or pardon me, text me your address, or let's have a quick conversation where you can tell me more about that property, and then I can discuss with you our options, right? So it'll be getting to that conversation. So I think the lead ad template would work well for that. All right. Anybody else have any quick questions before I jump into the how-tos? Let's see here. Perfect. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll quickly share my screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back and forth between this document that I've created that will show you guys how to, use these different templates. All you need to do in order to gain access to this template is to, in the chat section, put in your email. And then I'll make sure that I share this shared document with you guys so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. And it's easier to replicate the going back and forth between the ad template and what goes where. Okay, so I'll go ahead and share my screen. And you guys should all see this now. Is that correct? Now, this is my custom ad document, and there's lots of different stuff in there. The original intended purpose was to start trying and testing all sorts of different ads, have you guys test those same ads, and then get in and relay your results. But really what people have been using it mostly for is a walkthrough of how do I get this there and what field fills in what location. What I mean by that is as I start scrolling down, you'll see the main one I'm going to cover today is this custom lead ad. Right? So you're going to find this template here in your dashboard. So if you go to your own dashboard and click on funnels, you're simply going to scroll down until you find that custom lead ad, right? So there we go. Now there's a couple different ones, and you're going to want to be careful as to which one you select. But again, custom lead ad is the one you want. Custom listing lead ad, I'm not recommending you use right now. There's more limitations on that one. There's a little bit more hard-coded verbiage that's specific to a listing. And I feel that if you're going to advertise your listings, the best template to use isn't a customized one, a fully custom one. It is this one right here, the property listing V1 lead ad. So if you guys are looking to advertise a current listing, I could not suggest a better template to go with than this one right here, okay? Property listing V1 lead ad. And just really quickly while I'm on that one, I can quickly show you how this one works. Again, if you have a custom or a listing that you're looking to promote, simply click on select under that one, and you build this really quickly and easily here. What's the city and or neighborhood? Now remember, when you're advertising one of your listings, we want to try to trade the listing information for the leads information. Right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm not going to put in the address 123 Maple Street at this stage. I'm simply going to put in, say, Kelowna. I'm going to put, maybe it's a 6-bed, 5-bath property. Next, in the description area, you want to give enough of a description that is, enticing for them to trade their information for, but you don't want to sell the farm still. If I tell them everything and put the full MLS description, what's going to stop them from, taking that information? Or, especially if you put in the address, they're going to, before entering their info, they copy that address, they go to realtor.com or really anywhere, enter that address, get the information that they were looking for. So again, I'm very limiting in terms of the address, and I'm certainly very limiting in terms of the information I'm putting in here. So in this case, for my home, this is essentially the quick little write-up I'd put. Beautiful family home, it's got good land, it's got this, it's got that, it's near this. The key basics, the key amenities you think people that would be looking for in and around this price point, what are they looking for? Next, follow-up URL. This is incredibly important, and you're going to find this field on the other custom lead ad as well. In fact, any of our ad templates that specify a lead ad, you're going to need a follow-up URL. Okay? Now, what that is it's the destination. The lead will end up at the end of everything. As soon as they've gone through the funnel, they've left you their information, hopefully name, number, and email. Now, with the lead ad, just so you guys are aware, that information, name, number, and email will always be pre-entered or entered automatically by Facebook, which is nice. That does mean that the information isn't always 100% accurate, as opposed to typically when people go through a landing page and manually enter their info, it's typically a little bit more accurate, but the number of emails and phone numbers you'll get from this is extraordinary. So I think it's certainly worth sifting through some of the good ones from the not so good. Now, follow-up URL for this one, in my recommendation, would be to send them to your website, specifically the portion of your website where this listing is hosted, because I don't want them jumping through hoops. I want them to get the information they're looking for, obviously, quickly and easily. I just want to trade them for their name, number, and email, right? So here, put in your website specifically to the page that will take them to this listing. That's it. Next, put in an image. So if I use this one here real quick, a sec, this is going to load. I'll use an image of the home. There we go. Let's say, got a bunch of different ones, but there you go, right? So sorry, I've got bajillion images. My computer's freaking out here, but you get the idea, right? So I come in here, upload a file, and you can choose something from your computer. If you're doing something like the one that you had mentioned, Grace, might not fit quite as well, but this is an image I've been wanting to use on kind of a spec home, build the home of your dreams kind of ad. While we're on the subject, I'll just put that one as my image. but something like that's kind of that blueprint becoming reality. I really like the look of that. But this is a bit of an aside from what I'm currently talking about, of course. But yeah, put in the image, and I would typically use a hero shot. So I don't really like the collage as much because I want it to be, do you want more information on this property? Click and leave me your info. So less is more. That's it. Follow-up URL. Again, put in your website specific to that page. Hit next. The rest is very simple. It's the stuff you guys have all seen a million times now before, most likely. Build your target, drop your pin, set it, and you're good to go. Those ads work very, very, very well. Okay. Any questions kind of on this ad type or anything so far? Not so much. Perfect. Okay, so I'll move to the next one, and that's going to be, again, we go down a little bit further. I'm going to find the custom lead ad. This guy right there. Now, when you hit select, this first screen is incredibly easy to follow because what you type into the appropriate fields show up on the appropriate place on the ad itself. So body, let's say, for instance, I was to simply type in body, that shows up right there. That's the main call to action. That's clearly the body of your ad. Very simple stuff. The title itself, same thing. I'll just put in title for now, but it's a footnote of sorts, right? It's, title is not the right word for it probably, but that's what they call it. Really, it's a footnote there. Next, you put in your image again, whatever image you think is going to fit the mold as to what you are trying to accomplish. So I'll go back with that other image because I like that one. So something like this. Right, great. Now you can talk about your pre-build offer. You can talk about whatever it is. You can see the finished product that your ad will look like on Facebook itself. Easy peasy, right? You think you're done. And this is the reason most people come to this class, is because now when you hit this next button, now it becomes a little bit more difficult. Now you're looking at this going like, oh my goodness, what are all these fields? What do they do? What do they control, right? Very natural, very common. So this is kind of why I've created this document, is that form title, form description, questions page headline, all of these feed to a very specific portion of your ad form. So if I go here, I'll show you what happens. This is back on that document. So now I've built an ad. And what I did is after I built the ad, I walked through all of the steps and took screenshots so you could see what the finished product actually looked like. So in the body field, I typed in body, 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 body. So you know what you type in, whatever it says body, it's going to show up here. So that's the surface of the ad itself. Title, I typed in title and I used the image. Great. The difference between a landing page ad and a lead ad is this. When somebody clicks on this ad on Facebook, a lead ad, what's going to happen is they're not going to be immediately removed from Facebook and brought to an external landing page. What's going to happen instead is they're going to get a Facebook branded pop-up. It's going to carry forward the image from your ad, but now you can see you're actually building your form within Facebook, not through the StreetText landing page as usual. So here, now you have the ability to ask them for their information in trade for what you're trying to offer them further. They've seen the ad, they've clicked on it. You have now paid for that click. You've paid as much as you're possibly going to pay for that lead. If they bail at this stage, you've still paid for a click. So this part is very, very, very important. So what is your offer? Is it a free home valuation? Is it, a spec home? Whatever it is, form title is where you're going to quickly address that again, right? So form title, as you can see here, this is the first line that I see. Again, if I go back, I built the ad, I've got my ad verbiage, I've got the visibility on Facebook that I like. They click on that. I then need to fill in all of this stuff, right? First one, form title. So form title, again, as it would state, it's a title. So make it something like that. Discover the smarter way to sell. Your free exclusive home seller's guide, whatever it could possibly be. For now, I'll just put form title. And that's it. That's going to feed into that section. Next is form description. That one's going to be a little bit more robust. This is where you want to explain yourself a little bit more. You definitely don't want to saturate it in terms of verbiage. You don't want to use too much, but just enough to further convince them the offer that I'm going to give you here is worth you trading your information, and here's why. Right? When you're doing custom ads, always remember that the key to all this is an instant free offer. I'm going to get you something right away and perfectly free. What is that item that you have to trade? So for instance, let's say if I'm looking for first-time buyers, quick and easy, receive my free first-time buyers guide or register for my free first-time buyers seminar. right? One of those two would work just fine, but consider what you're trying to accomplish and be able to offer something that's quick and easy for you to offer, that's not expensive for you to offer, but something enticing enough that they would want. You need that to hook them and bring them into the database. You can then drip on them with whatever else you want over time, but you need to first attract them. Instant free offer. I can't stress that out. So form description, I'll just type in form description for now. Right, self-explanatory. Again, form description will flow in right here. So under your form title. Next, the next selectable or fillable field will be questions page headline. Now, what I typically put in that step, and you can see it right here, again, I got questions page headline, I would usually put something like this. Please confirm your information below is accurate. The why is because, again, this information isn't necessarily being manually entered. It can be manually edited by the lead, but their name, number, and email will automatically be pulled in by Facebook. So I like to add a little reminder, hey, please confirm your information below is accurate if you want to receive this information. Because, I mean, it could be pulling in information from when they set up their account back in 2008 when, you know, they just joined Facebook. Right? So maybe it's an old email, an old phone number, maybe the name is spelled incorrectly. So make sure that they confirm that. They're going to hit next after this information is entered. Once they hit next, you will automatically, through Facebook, get that lead information, but you'll also get all that information into your StreetText dashboard, just like if they came through one of our normal lead forms. Okay, so name, number, email. All this info is now in StreetText. Great. They're going to hit next. And we just want to kind of direct them and give them further guidance as to where they're about to be sent. So again, remember, you've already got their info, but now I want to get them their info. So this is the final part of the trade. So thanks, you're all set. That's hard-coded, that stays in there. But the thank you page body, right? That is your next selectable field. And here it is, thank you page body. So thank you for taking the time to, you know, investigate my first time buyers program. By clicking the whatever you're going to call it button below, you will be directed to the whatever it is, right? So let's say, for instance, I'm just going to stick with it since I'm on the topic. Let's say first-time homebuyers. I'm going to set up a first-time homebuyers seminar. I'm going to hold it this Thursday at 2:30. Maybe I'll hold it every Thursday at 2:30, right? It'll just be my thing. That way, what I would personally do is I'd go into Calendly. If you're not familiar with Calendly, look at calendly.com. It's a great tool. It's free. It's a nice scheduling software, but you can go in something like that, use your scheduling software and book, you know, every Thursday or whatever it is at 2:30, you're available for this free first-time home buyer seminar. Then you can say, thank you. You're going to be directed to my, you know, scheduling link where you'll be able to book your call. Then you take your Calendly link and simply put it in here, right? Done. My Calendly link's there. Next, what I would do is there's a thank you page button text, okay? I'll show you what that is. That's this last little fella right down there. Thank you page button text. And it's nice that you can confirm what you've been trying to accomplish the entire time with a simple word or phrase here. Book now, learn more, find out how, discover the difference. Whatever you've been saying throughout, echo that same sentiment here. So for this example that I've been giving you so far, I would simply say in the thank you page button text, I'd say, book now. And in my thank you page button, it would be something like, you know, thank you for this, that, and the other thing. And then I'd also say, hit the book now button below where you'll be directed to my calendar, yada, yada. Pretty straightforward, right? That's really it. This is by far the most confusing part of this by a landslide. And you can see by simply jumping back and forth between this document and this funnel builder, how easy it is. If you get lost, what does form description do again? Go into the document, find that section, you'll see where it plugs in, and then you'll be able to build yourself from there. From here, that's it. You hit next, and it's back to, again, the same stuff. Drop your pin, do your target, launch the ad 1 or 3 times or 5 times, whatever you're looking to do, and you're set. Right. Any questions on this template so far? Nathan, go ahead.
Logan.
How are you?
Good, good. I had a quick question. What I really like to set up is some ads that send some home value ads that send folks directly to my home bot, so they register right there themselves. Would it be the custom ad that I would want to do that, and I would use that last button as the push to go to HomeBot?
Yeah.
What would be the simplest way to set that up, the least resistance, you know?
So I always peg my role here as I want to help you guys set up whatever you want. I would be a little hesitant, me personally, sending people directly to HomeBot, because I feel that that's a pretty enticing offer still. So for me personally, and again, I'll definitely tell you how to do it, because I want you to set up exactly what you want. But my recommendation would be to more lean into your video aspect of, you know, one of the items that most homeowners want is, or most of my clients, what they're asking for is, you know, to be provided with their home valuation as their home sits today. Well, I can do you one better. Not only can I provide that information to you right away, I'll also be able to set you up on this free program that will update your home's value on an ongoing basis. In order for me to enter you into that system, however, I simply need you to let me know the following. You know, what's the homeowner's first and last name? What were the tax records? You know, what was your taxes last year? I don't even care what the question is. Something that you feel the homeowner should know, and you're working on building that first engagement. And the way I usually like to put this is that every new lead, it's like they're a puppy dog, right? And I know it's silly, right, to hear me out, but your job is to train that puppy to be a dog you're proud of and you're happy to have, as opposed to constantly, you know, having your dog chew your slippers or spill your drink and petting it on the head, right? You're constantly teaching these people, you know, don't worry about talking to me ever. I'm just going to keep giving you all this additional value. Now, with all that said, HomeBot is one of those kind of programs that we've found here that are, I think it's amazing. And the value you can provide to people might be that little bit to push them over the edge. So again, if that's what you're looking to do, I would start right now, Nathan, by every new lead that comes in that gets added to HomeBot right away, maybe have a date or have a notification somewhere. This is the date I enacted this big change. And then, you know, in 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever, if things are going better than they had been before, hey, big check mark. Let the insider group know, let everybody know that worked really well. And, you know, I as much as I don't like being wrong, I like being wrong about things like this when it means somebody else was right and something's working great, right? So, if you, however, feel that, you know, you've done that for 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, and you haven't got any responses, sometimes that's what I feel is we're giving these people a little bit too much too early on, and we're not enticing them along the way to get to that relationship. But incredibly long-winded answer to a very simple question, Nathan. I would suggest, what we do then in that case is throughout this process, let them know, really lean on how great HomeBot is then. Right? So you don't have to mention HomeBot by name, but basically, you know, create it as the surface itself is just a simple home valuation ad. But when they get to that second step, you can let them know by clicking the, you know, button below, whatever. Not only will I be able to provide you today's valuation, you're going to be entered the system, follow the link here below to the registration, enter your information on that screen. Here's what you're going to get. Right? So then definitely take your registration link to your HomeBot, throw it in the follow-up URL. Good now, and then say register now, something like that. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, you know, I totally get where you're coming from, and I would much rather have the engagement the other way around, them give me something to give them something. But if I rely on that as my metric for success and my metric for when I provide them with something, I would have never sent a single CMA because, you know, as we've seen before, my click rate on that first email is abysmal. Like, people don't open it. But when I send the HomeBot, people open it and people watch my videos on HomeBot. So in my market, which is very jaded, I would say, and there's language barriers and there's all these different, you know, I think resistance that comes to my advertising in Los Angeles, that to just give them what they want and pound them with value and pop up on that forum and say, you know, they always watch that first video like, hey, this is HomeBot. If you want a better thing, give me a call.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's again, the reason I like to do these custom ad classes is, and I've said it to you personally, I've said it to everybody on this call, I'm sure if you've ever talked to me, is test, 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 test. You never know unless you test something, and note everything that you change, because results are especially on Facebook, they're very rarely immediate, and you can do something amazing and not know that it was amazing until 2 months have gone by, and by then you're like, oh, this isn't working, and you change your process again. So that's why I always say, again, keep a marker in your account somewhere, even if it's just a note on today's lead, right? Hey, today changing strategy. That way, from that lead on, all the new leads entered a new process. So then again, 2 months goes by, you go back and reevaluate what you've done. Hey, 3 or 4 of those people actually, they did come through now, or whatever, you get what I'm saying? And the other thing, again, is I give a lot of advice based on my own personal experience. I sold real estate for a long time. I help realtors all over the place, but nobody knows your market better than you, right? So what works for me in my area, what works for people in different areas, don't necessarily always pan out the same way for you guys in your individual areas, right? So having that thought, and again, let's blow them away with value. I would really, really then urge you to make sure you have a really strong, either automated follow-up, or you're personally reaching out to them within a specified period of time after they've been automated into HomeBot, knowing the amount of value you're providing. Lean on it while it's still fresh, right? So you can see when I believe anyways, as far as I'm aware, you can see when somebody opens your HomeBot report, correct? So as soon as you see that, maybe don't jump on them, give them a little bit of time, but certainly have something to the nature of, and again, it's not, hey, you opened my HomeBot, now you owe me a conversation, right? It's going to be more to the nature of, I wanted to confirm a couple quick things with you. Now that you've seen that HomeBot report, I have found these are the items that are typically off, right? Or, while this system seems to be accurate in most places, I've actually seen, square footage is off typically for most of my other clients. Find something that might be off, right? Typically, and then say, how did you find it? Did you want to challenge this report? Was your square footage accurate? Whatever it could possibly be. Again, just anything to get them to confirm, yes, I did in fact see it. And no, everything's great. Perfect. I'm glad everything was great. Here's my process still. I think you need to have, a professional like myself over to properly identify and set your baseline. Let's just confirm that HomeBot did provide you an accurate assessment, because if your assessment is off today, as information is received by the system, it'll continue to be off. So if I come over and now help you establish a baseline, then we can kind of reset your parameters, making sure that as changes happen in your market, we're on track still. How does that sound? Again, it's always coming from a place of value, but yeah, I definitely think there's some possibilities there.
I always start from the place of, this is a conservative estimate. It's the best auto valuation tool you're going to find. It's a conservative value. I'd be happy to, blah, blah, blah.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, and again, I would be very, very interested to see those results, because I've got a lot of clients now coupling us with HomeBot, I mean, BombBomb obviously, but HomeBot specifically. And the results that we've seen just from the withholding seems to be working well in most areas. You're going to get this when I get the following. We do also have a number of people who are sending it right away and making sure they get registered right away. And I've seen good results on both. So in an area where you've seen, it can be a little bit tricky at times, obviously, as you've experienced, I'd be really interested to see how all that works. So if, let's get that set up for you, and then report back, or just, text me when and whether it's working or not. I'm always happy to look at ads, and yeah, hopefully it functions in the way that we would intend it to. Perfect. Any other questions, comments, anything that anybody is looking for so far that we haven't covered, or that you'd like to have covered? Apologize. I'm looking through my phone, my cameras here to see if I got hands up. If not, then yeah, I can take you guys quickly. Yeah, Megan, go ahead. You're muted.
There we go. Okay, so I did came up with an idea as far as what I would like to test and see how it goes. So as far as I'm new to this. The split test. Is there a way we could split test just one audience but different material, all at the same time?
Yeah, of course there is. That's more of an A/B test. That's more like when we say split test, that's more the testing type that I would say most marketing individuals or people are familiar with. And that's to say, I want to test the audience, but I want to test this image compared against this image or this image or those angles. That's all going to be done one by one, and you're never going to test the same audience. There's just no way to do it. That's in fact the reason why we split test the way we do, is because every single time you run an ad, even when you do our three ad split test and you create one and launch it 3 times, it'll always, every single time, each ad will rely on its own unique test audience. So there's no way to put 3 different images in front of the exact same audience. You can't do that. But you could certainly do, instead of building a 3 ad split test, there's absolutely nothing wrong with building a one-off ad in 3 different styles and launch them all at the same time and target the same location. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's a little bit more manual work, but that's actually not a terrible idea in order to find kind of if you've got 10 ideas in your head, right? And you're going, okay, I want to start testing everything. Well, pick your top 3, maybe do one-offs of them, figure out which one, even if you didn't hit your magic number, even if neither of them blew up in the way that you really want, at least you can now maybe eliminate 2 of the ideas. You can say, well, these ones were complete stinkers. It doesn't mean they'll never work, but out of this first test, these 2 didn't work at all. This one showed some semblance of hope. Then go and do a 3 ad split test from that one type, because you've identified of your A/B test the best of the 3. Now you do 3 of the 1, if that makes any sense. And then just keep doing that. Keep your 1 running. And then you say, well, I have 10 other ideas still. Well, do the same thing. Keep your best ad running. Do 3 different ads, find the best one, and then split it after the fact. That would probably be the way I would handle that. Yeah. Any other questions so far? While you guys are getting that all ready, if you have anything for me, I'm just going to quickly bring up a different template that I can show you guys, and then we'll wrap for the day. So back into my screen here. There's a couple different ones that I like you guys to use. If you're one of my clients, I almost for sure have been telling you to look into the What's Your Home Really Worth ad. This one right here. I'll show you this. So always, again, we're looking for conversion. Conversion is always the main objective. Never use traffic or page post, in my recommendation anyways, at least for now. The What's Your Home Really Worth is super simple if you guys are beyond trial and full clients of ours, because you can simply come in here, hit select. It's simplistic in terms of verbiage, but it's very easy to set up. And the benefit is, the reason the map works, the boring old map image, the reason it works so well in most locations is because it's 100% relevant to your location you're running in, obviously, and it doesn't scream, hey, I'm an ad, right? Now the problem becomes, as you and your competitors keep running that same kind of imagery in your area, it becomes, well, there's that ad again. It's going to lose its effectiveness. So what you're going to then want to do, in my estimation or my recommendation, find an image that has the same flow and feel to the boring old map image, but, and again, forgive me, any of my clients, I've shown you this a bajillion times, but something like this. It's so incredibly important. Now, this is Kelowna, this is where I am, but it doesn't much matter, because anything that has the same flow to it in your area, it doesn't have to have water, doesn't have to be coastal, doesn't have to be anything like that, but it does have to be focused on an area, not on a property type. Because as soon as you start using, a picture of a blue home, who are you attracting? You're attracting buyers and agents, period. Who likes homes more than real estate agents? Very few people. So an image like this, again, it's a little bit aerial. It's representative of the area itself. It ties to the location, even if I'm still targeting people well outside of this, what's being shown here. Most likely, and I know from my area specifically, this is our whole, most of our province, which states for you guys, obviously in the
I don't
States,
see anything.
You guys aren't seeing the screen here at all?
I don't.
Oh, let's see
I
here.
can't speak for everybody.
Anybody else? Nathan, Meng, Grace, can you see this image, or am I talking crazy talk here? Okay, let me get out. Sometimes it does that, so let me do this. Thank you for letting me know. Maybe that'll work. You see that this time?
There we go.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. I've done that before. I'll just talk and talk and talk, and for some reason it doesn't display anything. But yeah, this kind of image, again, it's aerial. It's representative of the area. It's not directly tied to one home. It's a location, right? So very, very, very beneficial to use something along those lines. Okay, so let's get back here. And I'll share my screen with you once again. And you guys can let me know if you don't see this here. All right, back on track. Good. Okay, I'm just going to assume we're good unless somebody yells at me here. That would be great. Okay, so back up to this one up here. Thanks, John. Perfect. So now if we go back up, the next one that I want to show you guys real quick is the other custom ad. And this one's a little bit different. I feel in order to use this one properly, you need to utilize one of our current form structures, whether it's buyers or sellers, because you can customize the ad itself. You can somewhat customize the landing page, but the portion after they click the Analyze Property button or whatever it is, it's going to take them through one of our standardized forms. And unlike the lead ad, you can't customize that form the same way. So if you're trying to simply get buyer leads or seller leads, and you just want to come up with a different hook or different angle at the front end, this one's great for you. So what you can do, use this custom right here, just straight up custom, not the custom lead ad now, just straight up custom, and you hit select. Same thing, this first screen is quite obvious as to what you're going to see. Well, I guess I have to get through this. Now this here, what you're going to want to do is you want a new Facebook ad, yes. But for the automations, simply go to, and what I would do is go to your home valuation automation. What that's going to do is it's going to bring in your drip campaigns from your typical seller's ad. It's also going to use the typical seller's forms. So when I click that there, the rest goes away and now I can see I'm good. So new ad, yes, existing automations. Okay. Now I hit next. First screen is, again, very self-explanatory. It's what you see on Facebook. So as I build it, you can see what goes in here will show up right away there. Fortunately, it's taking a long time here. Give it a sec. Same thing, put that there, and you can put in this final description. So you've got your body, your title, and then the description below. Choose an image. Loads, there we are. And we'll use that old blueprint again, something like that. Now, your ad itself is now created, everything's great, and we're not building a Facebook lead form. So now when I hit next, what's gonna happen is you can see physically the landing page right here. So I'm going to choose whatever image I would like. I'm gonna go with that same image. Again, continuity, congruency between the ad itself and the landing page, incredibly important. And if you click on an ad that looks like I had shown you before, but then you get to a landing page that looks like this, right? You're going, how did I get here? What is this image? This doesn't line up at all. So be very, very cautious to use the same image on both. That would be my recommendation. So we'll go back in here and we'll use that same image. Done. Great. Now, as you can see, it says get on the list. Not what I want. For what I'm going to go with, this button text, I'll do, analyze my property. You can then change, of course it didn't change there. You can change whatever you want this button there to show. So it's just going to take a second while this all loads. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of heavy programs on a very little computer plus Zoom with a bunch of people on it. So it takes a little bit of time. I apologize. But this is the general idea, right? Analyze my property. We're good there. Title, this goes above. So, why rent when you can own? How much can you save? Whatever. Let's do why rent when you can own for now. Doesn't much matter, but you can then see what you're putting in and then type a quick little suggestive line here. Enter your information, click the Analyze My Property button, yada, 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 whatever you want to put. That's it, straightforward, you're done. After this stage here, you can simply hit next. Again, it's going to take a small second here while this loads. But you'll hit next and you'll be brought into the targeting side just like every other ad that we've shown you so far. Right? Now, when you get into this section, you're going to see something like this, min age, max age. don't worry about that. You can change that to any value you want. It has zero impact on the ads themselves at all. Facebook does not allow you to select your age demo anymore. In fact, you can't select your demographic in any regards anymore. Facebook will do all that based on the first 500 people that see the ad, right? So same thing as always, don't type in your targeted locations, instead drop a pin. Set, you're done. Really easy, right? So that's pretty much what I have for you guys here today. If you have any questions, please go ahead and unmute yourself. Let me know. Otherwise, those 2 templates are the ones that you're going to want to go with for now. And we can bring your ideas back again next week as always. And I always try to take 1 or 2 of the suggestions and start working on some stuff and see if there's some things that I can come up with. I'll see what I can come up with for you guys next week as well. Otherwise,
Are you going to send the template to us?
For like that document I was going through, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cliff, did you put in your email address in the chat? Yeah, perfect. So what I typically do at the end of this is I'll end the meeting so everybody can go, and then I'll simply just go through and I'll add everybody into that document. So you'll receive notification via email, I'd say within 5 minutes of when I wrap the meeting up, that you've been invited, and it's just a shared document. So
all right, thank you.
Full access very, very soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had one request. I did step out. I had something to do for a brief moment, and I didn't really get to see how you did the first lead ad on that one. If you could briefly skim through that real quick so I could see. I'm really in consideration of using that particular template.
Yeah, I can take you through that one real quick again. And I actually did record this session as well. So I can send you a replay on that as well to it's kind of nice sometimes to have that replay so that you can see it. And I'm the same way. I'm a very visual learner. So I like to see somebody do it, pause the video, do it, go back and confirm, did I do it right? So I can make sure that as soon as this is rendered, I can send you the recording, and that way you can see everything that you missed as well.
Yeah, that's fine too. Yeah, that'd be fine too. You put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put a thing here right away to send you that recording.
Hey, thanks, Logan. I got to go right now.
Perfect. Yeah, nice seeing everybody on here. Like I said, see you guys all next week. Hopefully, definitely see you on the mastermind tomorrow. Don't miss that. If you're unsure what's going on there, reach out to your coach, and we'll get you guys the links to get to the mastermind. Best place to be in my view. So I'd say this custom ad class is maybe a close second, but the best one's the mastermind by far. So be sure to get to that one. I'll wrap up for now. Anybody who wants the recording, just reach out to me in the insider group or to your coach, and I'll be sure to fire you guys the recording for this.
I sent you an email.
So I already need it. If you could just send it to me, that'd be great. The other thing was the mastermind meeting on Wednesday. How do I get there?
Mastermind meeting, what you can do here, I'll give you guys all this right now. I'll put this in the chat section. This is our team Calendly. I'll get you this real quick. This is all of our meeting times and types and registration links and everything that you need. Let's get you this. So check the chat section. We've got a moment here. All right. There you go. So click on that link right there, and it'll bring you into the StreetText Master Calendly, and the one that you're looking for is Mastermind. But we've got, the custom ad classes in there. Every one of our meeting times and types and all that's all in there. So get in there and register for that. You'll also, have I not added you into the insider group yet?
Yes, I am on the insider group, yes.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the other place where we always will post replays. So if you guys can't make the mastermind, definitely go in and watch the replay and skim through it at the very least through the post that we'll have after the event. You can also watch past events, which is kind of nice. So some of you guys have joined us fairly recently, and the masterminds didn't just get good. They've been pretty good for quite some time, I would say anyway. So it's good to kind of go back and see some of that past content. But anytime there's a major announcement, anytime we're doing a big class, anytime we're doing anything, it will always be announced in that group as well. So stay tuned in there for notifications.
So Logan, question: If I so you're saying that for the cash for your home ad, just use the listing capture.
You could, if
or
you do
what points should I use?
Yeah, you could do the you could just do the typical seller's valuation really template, and then you may be better off. Though we could actually to take that back a step, if you're going to do it as right from the surface, we buy ugly homes cash kind of stuff, build it in using the custom lead ad, and then build an automation that goes along with that. And what I'll do on next week's class, I'll spend a little bit more time on custom automations.
Okay.
But what you can do is after you build a custom lead ad, you can get into the funnels, then go My Funnels, find that ad and hit edit. You'll then see the automations. For a custom lead ad, there's no preset automations, right? There's no instant email and text message predefined by the system, but you can then go in and say, add new email, right? Actually, I'll just quickly show you through that part here. I got a couple seconds, and that I think is something that's incredibly important. So let me show you this real quick, share my screen again. So let's say, for instance, we've just built a custom ad, right? And now I want to schedule the automations that go behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to funnels right here. If you're already in the funnel section, it won't take you anywhere, so you can click that all day long. Scroll back to the top. You're going to go to My Funnels. From the My Funnels section, you're going to see any ad you've ever created. If the ad was built from the same seller's property valuation conversion template, they share automations. Now, this is one I built probably last week or the week before. I usually use a old picture of my son when he was still a little toddler, because it makes me smile every time I see it. So, but you come in here and you simply hit edit. So now you know from the image itself, hey, this is the ugly homes ad that I just created, right? So now you're going to come there and hit edit. Now I'm going to have to delete some stuff real quick. So give me a quick second, because your ad won't come with any of this stuff in there yet. So I'll just quickly get rid of this so you guys can see exactly what you'll be seeing. All right. So when you first get into this section, this is what you're going to see, nothing but this. If you're familiar with the automation section already, you'll know that when you build one of our other templated ads, it comes pre-built with a bunch of stuff all delayed, everything's ready to go, you just have to edit the content. Well, with a custom ad, we don't know what you want to say, because I don't want to say, hey, come to my first time home buyer seminar if I'm sending it to ugly home sellers or whatever it might be, distressed property. So I want to make sure that the messaging is always appropriate and effective. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to add an action. Never, ever, ever add a trigger. The trigger is this. It's the if this, then that. If a lead comes through, then start the following actions. So the only thing you guys need to do is add actions. The first action I would recommend you adding is a tag, because I want to know what funnel type of mine did they come through, specifically so I can see on the contact section within StreetText. But what if you're also sending these leads to an external CRM? Well, John Smith, did he come through a seller's ad, a buyer's ad? Was he an agent? Am I recruiting agents? What am I doing? Who is this lead, and what drip do I want him or her in, right? So the first thing you're going to want to do is add a tag. Now hit select, and you're going to see you have access to any of the tags you've ever created. Buyers, you'll probably all have seller. You'll definitely have sellers. Some of you guys will have seller and buyer, but that's it. You won't see any of these other ones. So what you're going to then do is say, I want to create a new tag. And I'm going to say, distressed, I got to spell properly. That would be great. Distressed properties, right? Why not? Add event. Every single lead that comes through this funnel will now be tagged as distressed properties. So I know that those are the addresses that I can probably pick up for cash, and they're not my typical just looking for evaluation, right? So that's good. I then want to come here and turn that on, because that tag I want on right away. Great, we're happy with all that so far. Next, again, you don't need to add a trigger. The trigger is still in place. This first initial trigger is all you need. But now I want to send them an email, because I want to send them my Calendly link, or I want to send them something specific, a video explaining what my distressed property offer is all about, right? So add action, add an email, select. Choose one of your existing emails if you like, right? So you can come in here, and if you're just trying to recreate an existing funnel type, great, add that from there. Otherwise, what you're going to do is you're going to come in here, and you're going to need, you're going to need a new email, right? So I'm going to, instead of select an email, I'm going to do create a new email, and I'm going to name it something. The name of the email does not appear anywhere other than in this dashboard. So you can name it something ridiculous. I don't recommend it still, but you can name it something that you yourself will remember that your clients don't see. This isn't the subject line. So, you know, for me, I do this all the time. I have to come up with all these crazy ones, but, you know, email, I'll do it 101.100.111, whatever, right? So great, now I add that event. Next, what I'm gonna do is I wanna put in the content of that email. So I can come here and I'm gonna click on there. This is something that you're gonna find. You're gonna click here and you're saying, why isn't this working? Why isn't letting me in? If that's ever the case, especially when you add a new action, what you're gonna wanna do is refresh your screen, okay? That will fix that little issue and you'll then gain full access to it. So once this refreshes, wait a little sec here. All right, now when I come down here to the email and I can click on that, it'll actually let me build what I want to say. So now the name is itself, again, nobody sees that but you. The subject line, however, certainly will be seen. So pick your, whatever your subject line is going to be. If you have a poor open rate, your subject line is often at fault, right? If your open rate's great, but your response rate is low, the content of your email is what needs massaging, but always keep in mind how important your subject line truly is, right? Next, make sure your name is accurate. I don't want Logan on there, so I'm just gonna do something like that. And also make sure that your email is appropriate. Next, you wanna add your signature. So make sure that your signature is there. My signature is terrible, but it is what it is. That's it, make sure your signature is good, and then start crafting your email. Right? Once you're happy with your email, then you may want to consider putting in a BombBomb video, right? So if BombBomb is part of your arsenal, what I would do now is I'd click over to my BombBomb account using the Chrome extension here. Again, unfortunately on Zoom, this whole process takes a lot longer because it's a lot of heavy lifting being done by this computer right now. So we'll come in here and we do videos. Any video you've ever created on BombBomb is now visible and selectable. I simply start scrolling down. I find the video that I want to embed. So let's just go through and find my welcome video. There's one of them. Not there. So we can come here. You hit the 3 dots next to the video, and you might need to drag my face out of the way if I'm covering it there. But you hit the 3 dots there, then you go copy for email, go back to the email itself, find where you want it pasted in. I usually go 1 line above and below, right? So I have like a contact first name. So hello, contact first name, whatever it is, right? And simply come here and paste your video just like that. Done. Once you're happy, hit save. You've then got an email scheduled to go immediately after the lead comes through. They'll be tagged as distressed properties. You'll then be able to go ahead and switch that on when you want. I next want a text message to fire. So now same thing, add action. Sorry, go back here, add action. And we're going to add a text message, select it, build your message, say whatever you want to have said, add the event. Now the text message I don't want to fire immediately though, right? The email, sure, email can go right away, but an immediate text message screams automation. So what I'm going to do, instead of having my text message fire right away, is I'm going to add a delay by hitting this little button right there. And I'm going to delay this by 3 minutes. That's my typical. Done. What's going to happen now? Email goes immediately 3 minutes after the email sends, the text message fires, and I can keep stacking automations on top of that, keeping in mind that the delay is cumulative, meaning that if I make a 6-minute delay next, it's really 9 minutes from the original event, if that makes any sense, right? It just keeps adding to it as you go. And that's really it. I probably made that seem considerably more complicated than it truly is, but once you guys get in and start playing with it, you'll realize it's actually quite easy to play with. And if I look at this and say, whoopsie, I didn't want to add that, or these are out of sequence, what have I done here? Simply come here, hit that little trash can, delete that, and you can start over.
Okay, Logan.
Yes, sir.
Is there any?
Thank you, Logan.
You're welcome, Grace.
Is there anything other than BombBomb that you can use that will integrate like that?
There's other reasons and ways to use BombBomb, yes, but I don't know so much in terms of integration. Really, the idea with BombBomb in terms of integrations and building your automation would be to filter the more from the less serious and impose upon them a little bit more of a hurdle. Give me this and I'll get you that. The other way that I'd use BombBomb that isn't an automation would be a screen record CMA. I don't know if you've seen those in the insider group, but the ability to, I've got a request. Let's say I get 10 requests in a day, but 2 of them are fantastic. I want to blow these people away. Well, then I can go to my BombBomb like this, and I can go, you guys can still see my screen, right? What I can do is I can open up BombBomb like this. I'll show you this again. Sorry, it takes forever. I'm actually going to, this computer's not that old, and it's a super expensive Mac, and I got to get a new one already, it seems. I apologize. But you come here, and what you can do, instead of doing the camera only, go to screen recorder, and then launch your recorder. And what it's going to do is it's going to make you the talking head down here in the corner. You can move that around, but your circle is still there where you can be the one talking. But you can record what your whole screen looks like. So maybe what you do is bring up the RPR report, bring up MLS. My typical strategy would be, again, after I hit the recorder, I won't even bring that up right now, but I hit recorder, do all that. It's going to go 3, 2, 1, tell me I'm recording. Again, I'm a little talking head down here. Next, what I would do is I'd situate my screen as such so that you only see what I want you to see, obviously, and I'd have all my tabs open and prepared in the direction that I would like me to take this kind of conversation. My first tab, I'd probably go to MLS, and I'd pull up the contact or the lead's home itself, so the first image they see is their home. The first item that I like to talk about is a communication based on, look, you've probably done renovations to this property that I can't see and I can't take into consideration. That's why we need to talk. It's part of your guys' verbiage anyways. It's the same stuff you guys are telling them regardless. But this way, I love the fact that the MLS card will be from when they purchased that home, when it last was part of a transaction. So hopefully it's 5 years old, 5, 6, 10 years old, who knows? However, can't be more than 10, but either way, right? That's kind of the idea, when it was last part of a transaction. So I like to start by saying, look, here is the information I currently have on your property. And as you can see, some of the information might be a little out of date. This property looks beautiful, like your home looks wonderful. However, the information I'm going to be relying on is a little out of date. And given that you've owned this property for 6 years now, 7 years, 10 years, whatever it's been, my assumption is you guys have done some work to this kitchen. You guys have probably done some work to this, that, and the other thing. So the range I'm about to give you now is based on the information I have at my fingertips and can be improved simply by having a quick conversation, or better yet, the ability for me to get into your home and see these renovations you made for yourself, right? I then like to take them through 2 comps. I like to go one recently sold and one recently listed. And then again, talk about what's happening in the market right now. Right now, the one thing we all know as agents is that homes are being, bidded on quite typically. Homes, if you price it properly, oftentimes you can get a multiple bidding situation going. So I like to quickly talk about that without being that cheesy, pushy salesperson, right? I like to go, here's a home that recently sold in your area. It's similar to your home in these ways. And I'm not doing the full data set analysis. Is it a 5-bed, 4-bath with 2,200 square feet-ish, pool yes, pool no, carport or garage? Pretty much the basics, right? Then I would say, here's a home very similar to yours. It listed at 783 and it sold in 9 days for 825. What that tells me is, again, this property was listed at the right price for its area and it received multiple offers and it sold really quick. That's not a unicorn in our area right now. If that's not the case and your guys' market has already shifted back to the other direction, don't say that, right? Be truthful, be honest, but use this as an opportunity to provide them with the information you want to give them. It's a hot market. It's a great time to sell. And this is indicative of that, right? The next thing, I bring up another tab, again, MLS. Here's a home that was recently listed. This will be your competition. Here's what I like about this home. Look at the professional photography. I also do professional photography. Use it as an opportunity to highlight some of your services. I would probably finish off on Realtor and Zillow. Bring up their home on Realtor.com, bring it up on Zillow, and then compare the two. And you can see, hey, look at there's a 15% or 30% difference between these 2 online data site giants, right? How is it that neither of them can come up with the same number, let alone the right number? Well, I'll tell you, because unlike, a real estate agent, they don't have representatives going into homes and doing proper valuations, they're relying on appraisal values. They're relying, just go through your spiel on how you sell off Realtor and Zillow, which I'm sure you guys all have pretty good spiels on that because they've been around for a long time and we've had to sell off them for a long time. The final thing that I might do is if I'm going to be attaching to this a report of any sorts, any kind of CMA, or RPR report, whatever it might be, I've realized in my life that smart people don't like to feel dumb. And when smart people read something that they don't fully understand, they feel a little dumb. And, you know, even myself being in real estate for a long time, I recently went through an RPR report that my agent now had sent me, and it was just weird. Some of the lingo, and I'm just like, it's not been that long, but I even felt a little out of sorts and out of my depth, which is weird because again, I sold real estate for over 10 years. I should know very well what everything is, obviously. But again, you know, it's a comforting feeling to be explained things not as if you're a toddler, but as if somebody's being overly helpful in a good way. So I would bring up the RPR report, the 5-pager, and just quickly and briefly go through the key features. Here's what you're looking for. You know, I've attached the PDF. On page 3, I want you to look for this, this, and this. You know, the difference between average home sale and median value is actually this, and this, and this, and this is why. A couple of the things you feel that they're going to go, oh, I didn't know that. That's so cool, right? And you've shown it to them visually. People will really appreciate that.
Well, Logan, I appreciate that. That was not the
Question?
Answer to the question I was asking. However, I was learning a lot, so I just shut up and listened.
Reiterate your question, though, so I can do a better job of answering it, perhaps.
It's okay. My question was, does StreetText have any other options, like a competitor, say, to BombBomb? That would be,
Gotcha.
I think I was listening to somebody talking about HomeBot or something earlier.
HomeBot would certainly not be a competitor to BombBomb. BombBomb, really what BombBomb is video. Video, period. So you presenting video and the ability to automate those videos. HomeBot is more providing a valuation. That's where they're going to get the information they're looking for. But the way that you give them the information through video would be more your question. I would suggest you can look into, BombBomb is my favorite for sure, but you can look into Dubb, D-U-B-B. They're pretty good. They're a little bit less expensive. They're a little bit less robust of a platform, but for the most part, you don't need anything crazy. You just want to automate some video. So Dubb is the next one on the list that I would look into. There's another one that I haven't personally played with, but we had mentioned on our mastermind a couple weeks ago. Very unfortunately named, but they went with Co-Video. I'll pass it on because somebody had mentioned that it was cheaper and they were very happy with it so far. Again, I haven't personally vetted that one. I don't think they should have named themselves Co-Video, but you know, maybe it's got the lasting power. Who knows, right? So, yeah, that's the idea. But the other one that you might want to look into, if you're also looking for a CRM entirely, LionDesk. No, okay. LionDesk has video included with it, so it's okay. It's a little clunky from what I've heard in terms of a CRM, so it's not typically my recommendation. But for video, I would say the hierarchy goes, in my view, anyways, my view alone. BombBomb, Dubb, and then potentially Co-Video. But there's also Vimeo, Vidyard, Videolicious. There's a bunch out there now, and I think it's best to just, first off, do your own due diligence, of course, but post in the insider group. Ask our clients what they think is the best.
I think I need to use the insider group more often, but I, for whatever reason, just haven't been engaged in it. And I have been with StreetText, I think, for 2 weeks now, but Marcus had said he would rather see me spend less on daily ads and add BombBomb into the equation than not get it. I can get it through KV Core because I get 10 BombBombs a month free with the KV Core that
Can you set those with automations, though? Are you aware?
My firm pays for. Well, I think the biggest advantage is getting it through them is it's $30 a month instead of, I think if you just go to the BombBomb website, it's like 40 or something.
So on that, just real quick, BombBomb has a bunch of levels that you can get into, and if I'm not mistaken, unless they've updated their pricing, their base package is $29.99 a month, which is their base. But that's all you need. The next level up, if you're taking Jen's course, Jen Salter's course, or any of that, a lot of our users are using their upgraded platform so that they can start building templates and doing a little bit more with it. But again, as with any new problem, my recommendation isn't to buy the top level and then see what you're going to use. Buy the bottom level, the entry level, and then test it and say, well, you know what, it's missing something. Great, you can always pay more money to somebody. It's harder to take money back. Right? Once you've subscribed to them for a year at $50 a month, and say, well, you know what? I'm only using this feature and this feature that's on your base product. Can I, upgrade? Can I downgrade? Less easy than it would be to say, hey, I want more. Can you take more of my money in exchange for more of your service? That would be our base.
Well, I think that if I'm looking at the KV Core ad properly, I think the $30 is for the plus version. And I think my firm pays for my KV Core along with my monthly fee. So I was going to probably try and use that since it's already kind of an added value type thing. And then once I have an account, then I can link it, I suppose, with this or anything else. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards the, BombBomb right now, but because I only have limited budget availability, I'm just starting out my business. I need to be careful with my funds. And then the last question I had for you was regarding everything that you were talking about with respect to the video for evaluation. What is that, about 30 seconds, a minute? I mean, because you can't capture them very long, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can do the BombBomb videos themselves can go quite long. It's not.
I mean, but like with all the tabs and everything that you were showing and kind of walking them through the RPR, because I use the RPR. I like it a lot. How long does that take?
For that particular one, I'd probably suggest you're probably 2 to 3 minutes, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Now that's why that can't be your initial intro. You've already got them hooked. That's why that first intro, if the first video I'm going to see from you is more than a minute, it's kind of like when you open up an email and you've got 3 full paragraphs, you're going, I'm not even going to skim this. I'm out. If I look and your video is going to be too long for me to get into, I'm not going to open it. So if your first intro is good enough and short, now I'm getting my above and beyond, right? Now I'm getting that extra. I'm willing to then watch the 3-minute presentation or whatever it is, because you don't want to race through it. You want to give them that value.
Yeah, they've already invested in you at that point. So 2 to 3 minutes sounds like it makes perfect sense. And a lot can be said in 30 seconds. So I can see 2 to 3 minutes as covering, all those tabs and kind of like a brief synopsis of what an RPR report is, at least the high points,
And that's all you need to touch on them high points, right? You just touch on the basics and you're always basically saying, I love enticements. I like getting, you're pushing to the precipice, and right before they see the sunlight, you go, call me back to see the sunlight, in a sense, right? It's you're building up to there's so much here, but I'll touch on that in our next conversation. Let me do that next time. And then it's just that enticement to, hey, this guy or this gal has a bunch of value. They're giving me all these things I want. Oh, there's more. I can learn more. Oh, great. It's easy for me to learn more. This is how I do it. So build up those enticements through your video whenever you can. And again, if you use real-time examples. So right now, there's no better example than what homes are actually selling for. Because if I tell you, hey, put your home on the market with me right now and I'm going to get you above ask, right? That's probably a real proposition, but people have been saying stuff like that forever.
Oh yeah, it doesn't make it true, but it does happen to be true right now.
It's happening everywhere, right?
You can put a dog out there and it'll go for 30,000. I mean,
I just saw an old abandoned property in downtown Vancouver, which is just a few hours away from where we are. It had been abandoned, I believe, for over a decade. It's been inhabited by people who aren't currently paying to live in there. And it's been absolutely trashed. The place itself is a teardown and just sold for $2.9 million. Right? So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You just never know. But that's just what's happening. I mean, and to be fair, in that property itself would always have been selling for around $2 million in Vancouver, but it's going for considerably more than it should be. And that's kind of the point. And that's happening everywhere. So if I tell you that is one thing, if I can show you, here's a home just like yours. It went live 15 days ago and it sold yesterday. It went on the market at this price. Here is the final sales price. How did we get there? Well, here's how, and here's what's happening in our market.
Pretty powerful.
Right. So yeah, we're a bit over the time. So unless you guys have any other questions, I'll leave you guys with it for now. Please do come to the mastermind, see me on my class next week. And yeah, good luck building new ads. And hopefully you guys all have the kind of luck that we're expecting.
Thanks, Logan.
Awesome. See you, everybody.